Greetings. I'm Dr. Jagannath Malik. First of all, I'm very thankful to the organizing committee for giving me this opportunity to present my research output in this important event. As you see, my paper is on global value chains and productivity growth in the Asian economy. Basically, in this paper, we analyze the impact of globalization represented by global value chains on productivity growth and also on labor income share in the Asian economy. I will just briefly present the objectives of the paper, then patterns of global value chains and methodology and data, empirical results and conclusions. In the third phases of globalization, which deals with the production segmentation, where various stages of tasks relating to production process are carried out in different firms in various locations, which forms a GVC. Further, the digital connectedness in recent years, which has led to both the formation of international networks and the rapid transmission of knowledge, which can promote GVC participation. In this context, it is policy imperative to understand the impact of the GVC participation on productivity to confront the rise of protectionist sentiment across the countries. The existing studies have several limitations, and particularly the Asian economy is the main driver of global economic growth, which income share has been increasing over the years in the global economy. And hence, it is important to examine the trends and patterns of GVC participation and impact and its impact on productivity growth and income distribution in Asia. Well, this is the pattern of GVCs in the middle income countries of Asia. In this paper, we have considered 14 Asian countries. They are from high income countries and lower middle income countries and upper middle income countries. And this is observed that there is an increasing trend in GVCs in the majority of the countries, which is through the greater trade and investment linkages, which has been driven by market-led integration and international commitment. It is also observed that the small countries like Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam are significantly integrated into the world economy. And among the high income countries, the Taiwan has highest degree of GVC participation, and the overall participation in GVCs, which has increased for all selected Asian countries except Cambodia and Hong Kong. However, the trade of Cambodia and Hong Kong has grown significantly. This may indicate that they have upgraded into activities of higher domestic value added. And there are two types of GVC. One is forward GVCs, then the other one is backward GVCs. If we look at GVC participation of the middle income countries, the Malaysia, Philippines, and Indonesia have significant participation in forward GVCs, whereas China, India, Cambodia, and Vietnam have recorded a decline in the forward GVCs share in overall GVCs. And among the high income countries, Singapore, Korea, and Brunei have significant forward GVC share, where Taiwan faced a decline. If we look at the industry-wise, the forward GVCs in the selected countries like China, India, Japan, and Korea, this is observed that the declining trend in all the sectors in the latest years, mainly due to the global economic crisis 2012, and also it is partly due to rising labor cost in emerging economies and the onshoring of multinational activities. Besides the use of protections, non-tariff barriers such as local content requirements and the introduction of other regulations that has increased the trade cost. And the other reasons could be a shift in global demand towards services, which are less trade intensive in nature than goods. Well, About methods and data, we have used three-stage least square approach, mainly because of the endogenous relation between total factor productive growth and also GBCs. At the same time, also GBCs is expected to affect labor income share by affecting employment and wage rates. The data are mainly taken from the TIVA database of OECD. And the empirical analysis is based on this empirical framework in which the product growth is expected to be affected by GBCs, and GBC also is to be affected by productive growth. And the other control variables are labor income share, which also depend on several other factors, and other controllable variables, the income growth, human capital, patents for innovation, and infrastructure. Infrastructure is a component variable which is created by using principal component analysis. This is the data, and I can skip it. This is the main important result. This is for the all 14 Asian countries. The three-stage least square approach shows that the GBC is statistically significant in explaining productive growth in the 14 Asian countries, and also patent, income growth, human capital are significant, whereas infrastructure is not, and directly affecting productive growth in these countries. And the GBC's equation, in which we found that infrastructure is significantly affecting GBCs, that means this infrastructure is indirectly affecting the productivity growth. And the other important results, that is the labor income share, in which FDI is affecting positively to the labor share and GBCs is affecting negatively. Why? Because GBCs are at the same time also promoting domestic capital in the host economy, where the capital income share has been rising. And due to compositional effect, labor income share is affected negatively due to the increase in GBC participation and productive growth, capital intensity, government consumption expenditure, human capital, all are affecting the labor income share positively. Well, if we exclude the high income countries, this is the result of three-stage square method. This shows that, however, the broad results remain same, and there is some changes like FDI, though it's negative but statistically insignificant. And however, the broad results and findings remain same. That the empirical analysis confirms that the GBCs have an impact on productive growth and labor market outcomes. A larger share of imported inputs in value added may favor the high skilled labor through though it raises wage for all types of labor. Further, the GBCs may have welfare implications for all the participating countries through the efficient labor allocation to high-skilled tasks in the advanced countries and also increased demand for labor in emerging countries. So these are the main conclusions of this study, that there is rapid expansion of GBCs in the last few decades in Asian countries. The small open economies like Vietnam and Thailand are being more involved in GBCs participation, and the overall participation in GBCs has increased for all the Latin Asian countries except Cambodia and Hong Kong. This presents a significant different picture from their trade performances. The empirical results that point to the dominant role of GBCs in driving productive growth and also labor market in the Asian countries and also the middle income countries. Thank you so much. Looking forward